Hey, this is Kiko Herrero, and I'm here to answer some questions for Young Guitar Magazine. And by the way, congratulations, 55 years, right? So congratulations for such a long, beautiful history. And yeah, so we have a few questions here, so I'm going to read the questions and answer for you guys, and I will do my best to answer accordingly. Around when did you start to play electric guitar? So when I was 14 years old, around that time, and then I went straight to that local school. And I always, until today, sometimes I get some lessons, guitar lessons or music lessons. Not that as much as I wish, but I do contact some friends sometimes, some people that I really like the way they play, and then I say, like, hey, can you give me some lessons? Or I buy some courses online or things like that, just to be inspired. So I really believe on getting inspired and learning from other players, And then I have this, and I do have my guitar academy and teach everything I know there. I think the more you share, the more you learn, the better. I really believe that if you go to a course or a book, and if you get just a little thing, one line from one idea, this already, it pays the course or it pays the book, So I always am searching for that little thing that I can use myself, I don't need to learn the whole thing, but just some elements to add to my vocabulary, to add to my assets, musical assets, right? So yeah, so I always had teachers, always. The entire my teenager years until I was, I had my teacher, like important teacher, when I was 18. Mozart Mello was important teacher that I had for at least 5-6 years. And then during the Angels Cry recordings and Holy Land recordings, I was having still lessons with him. I remember taking the Holy Land album for him to listen to. So I remember I was still having lessons with him. And then later I had piano lessons and other kinds of lessons as well. So yeah, I think it's really important to take lessons. Why not, So that's what I call, I have a course with this methods, improve skills. You choose a technique, so maybe it's alternate picking, right? So the first thing, I would isolate the hands, maybe do like a simple exercise, more like a mechanical exercise. It's not musical, more. That's the first 10 minutes, and very slowly. Because then I teach my hands the movements. Even nowadays, I would play slowly. And this works also if you're practicing a solo. You can play a solo, and very slowly the solo, whatever it is. Whatever solo it is, you play slowly, you get all the movements, you check if you're playing all the correct notes, you control the tempo. I would say something like 70%, 60% of the speed that you play that thing, in a comfortable speed, not in your max, but a comfortable speed that you don't make any mistakes, something like half of the tempo or 60% of the tempo. So it's slow. So you can control if your fingers flying away from the neck, you can really observe the movements. But you're not going to do this for a long time. It's kind of boring. But if you have several exercises, if you're playing the shapes of pentatonic, so I can have a lot of control because I'm playing slowly, right? And then if I do this for a while, I am preparing my body, my mind for the next phase, which is like the musical phase. You play something musical. Let's say even if you're playing the pentatonic, you play all the shapes. Now in a speed that you're able to play, but you try to play for long periods of time, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes. I even sometimes practice to play at least 4 minutes, 5 minutes without stopping. So I practice endurance, I have more control of the timing because that's what matters. So that's my second phase, and I play around 20 minutes of that, right? In total. So groups of 4 minutes, 3 minutes, and then in something more musical, because the first phase was very slow, so it's kind of boring. So the second phase would be a bit a solo, arpeggio sequence, the scales, you know, something that is like it's fun to play because it sounds pleasing because it's music. The next phase would be something like you can push the limits of the speed. So to push the limits, you just play something simpler. Let's say if you're playing, you know, you're playing like, you know, something on the same place. If it's pentatonic, something simpler, a shape that is simpler, something simpler that you can push the speed and you feel the speed. Until there, you're trying not to play any wrong notes. You have full control. Now, when you're testing the speed, it's okay to, you know, make mistakes. It's okay, not a lot of mistakes, but some mistakes because you're forcing, you know, you're forcing to go beyond your limits, you know. So the fourth phase would be something to make you think fast. So imagine if you're playing the pentatonic, if you're practicing 2 notes per string. So you're playing something like that, then you can play. It's like something that makes no sense, but you just need to keep moving. And then what's gonna happen is like, or you're gonna stop because you don't have time to think, you're not thinking fast enough, or you're gonna go to common places, you're gonna go to the basic shapes that you know already. So, and you force yourself to go to different places, different keys and things like that. So you're kind of practicing the way you think, like how to think fast and not to play fast, but to think fast. And then that's very important as well. So it's like the fourth phase, I would say. What items helped your practice time? Metronome, instructional books, videos, albums, everything, everything. Metronome for sure. I still have like a little metronome or apps on my phone. I have 2 or 3 different apps with a timer. So I like to put a timer. Mainly nowadays that, you know, I have less time to practice, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna practice this exercise for groups of 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So I do like, okay, I'm gonna do 6 times 10 minutes, and then I do 6 times of 10 minutes of this, maybe the same exercise or multiple exercises using the same technique, and then I go for another thing, or maybe if I have 1 hour, that was the 1 hour. You know, I do have some backing tracks that I can see, okay, it's 10 minutes, the backing track, so I play, you know, a few times the backing track, things like that. So I have the time and the BPM. So if you have the time and the BPM should be enough, you know, like a timer and a BPM. And then you can use the Pomodoro technique, which is like every half hour you have a break. Even if you feel like playing, you can have a break of 5 minutes, because that gives you like a mental rest. Then you can keep doing this for several half hours. You know, that's the idea. And then in my guitar hacks practice routine, I put this 5 minutes in between the 1 hour, because I think it's important. Like you know, millions of videos, so I have to be careful. Choose one thing that I really like, and then just learn that thing. You know, just don't go to the next video before like learning something from that first video or applying something for the first video. Sometimes you don't need to learn the whole thing, but just one thing that you can really use, you can really apply, should be enough. Then you go to the next one. So yeah, so I finished my new album. Soon I will announce, and I would love to be here to talk to you guys about my new album as well. How would you work with ANGRA team? Can we expect some guest appearance on stage in the near future? You can expect. In the last 2 albums from ANGRA, not being in the band. I did record a guest solo. I was touring a lot and I have small kids, so I didn't want to travel more to do a guest appearance. It might be in the future. I'm friends of everybody, have a great history with ANGRA. Same goes with Megadeth. I still friends of everybody, and then I don't want to burn bridges, So I'm proud of all the albums I recorded with ANGRA. I'm proud of the albums that I recorded with Megadeth, the 2 albums I recorded with Megadeth, all the concerts and tours we did together. So guest appearances, recording a solo, helping somehow, or just hanging, I'm happy to do it, because I like all those people as friends and in my family, because my life, I shared so many great moments of my life with the guys from ANGRA, of course, many years, and also like almost 9 years in Megadeth as well. I hope everything that I talked here was helpful. Just have a plan, an organized moment in your day to call practice. Differentiate the playing in practice, which is different from performance as well, when you play in front of people or you're recording. So have a moment you can practice, you can check how you're playing and understand that the growth is not, it doesn't go like a curve, but it goes like steps. So you stay there, you might think nothing's happening, but your brain is making the connections. So stay there, keep practicing, and one day it's like, oh, yes. Because a lot of people stop in the middle and then they don't see that the next thing would be like the next step, right? So just keep practicing, enjoy music, play what you like, be curious, search for different players, search for different styles, invest your time. The best thing you can invest your money and your time is to learn things, to acquire skills. Buy Young Guitar magazine, because I said this in other moments. To the Japanese down in São Paulo or like downtown, they have like those bookstores and bookshops, and then with imported magazines, because I have a huge Japanese colony in São Paulo, Brazil. So there's always like a lot of Japanese magazines, and I was always there to see if they have a young guitar. It was not every month, so sometimes they would have like a young guitar, and then I would buy. I was happy to be able to buy a few young guitars, and then I remember one with with the George Lynch on the cover, or like Yngwie Malmsteen, or guys from Rat, Ozzy, Randy Rhoads things, or Jakey Lee. So I learned a lot from young guitar. I had those pictures, the hand pictures, and then I was so happy when I gave my first interview to young guitar from the album Angels Cry. I was in Rio, I remember, in my grandmother's house. I did the interview by phone. It was like one of my first international interviews, and then I was front cover of the magazine in '96. It was like a great accomplishment to my career, to be on the cover of a magazine that was such a big fan. Although I couldn't read anything, but the pictures and the quality of the papers and all the tabs, everything was so amazing. And then I was even learning songs that I was not a super fan of the band, but the tabs were so perfect, and then I was trying to play those songs. So I want to thank you guys for that. So that's my message. Keep learning. Keep practicing, and then I just want to congratulate you guys for this long history, 55 years of sharing the knowledge, sharing things about guitar, all things about guitar. So congratulations. Let's celebrate. So that's why I'm happy to give this interview here for you guys, and I hope to see you guys soon in Japan, and All the best to you guys, and I hope to tour. And then soon we're gonna do another interview to talk about my new album. And then all the best to you guys. Cheers. Thank you so much.